Next, we have a somewhat unorthodox entry, which I consider to be very important. Xanax's head technically counts as an item in this configuration. In simple terms, it's what brought the end of the Riestes kingdom, as right after the conversation with him, Ainsama was considering aborting the mission, since the amount of punishment administered should have been enough for the stick part of the carrot and stick plan. However, seeing the head of such a noble person who he genuinely admired flipped a switch in the depths of Bone Daddy's skull. It wasn't the rage he felt during the Nazarick infiltration. It was more of a, I'm so fucking done with this, and you can even tell it by the way he flopped back into his chair, forgetting all about looking like a true supreme ruler. Just think about how blatantly stupid it is to swear loyalty while showcasing a head of someone you were sworn to previously. I was so happy they were sent to Uranus. Their family might have been an overkill, though remembering how Philip's relatives begged for him to suffer, I think I'll get behind that. Back to the small but noteworthy items, the blasting stuff. My Bloodborne fanboy came out as soon as I saw it, and though these items are vastly different, they have one thing in common. This weapon can knock enemies away from you because it was designed to build distance as opposed to dealing damage. Perfect weapon for a mage going up against an enemy who likes to get up close and personal. The Riestes treasures. It's not the armor and sword that we've talked about before, just symbols of the king and his rule. Ramposa agreed to hide them, hoping that the Sorcerer King won't raise the city this way, otherwise they have no practical value. A wooden necklace. This is actually a doll Nea carved herself, and Pavel, her father, as you can see the family resemblance, held onto it as a reminder for who he is fighting for. Suffer Lycia. This fancy weapon belonging to Remedius Custodio is one of 4 swords which existed as a counterpart to the Source of Darkness, one of which is now owned by Lachius. It's enchanted with a holy element and passively deals damage to enemies with bad karma, as well as has a special ability to greatly amplify this effect for one strike. It doubles the length of the blade, makes it unblockable by neither weapon nor armor, and shines brightly, obstructing the enemy's vision. Very powerful attack indeed if the opponent is evil, but pretty useless if they are neutral or good. Like in the case of Ijar, who is just a warrior looking for a good fight, it didn't do anything at all. Speaking of not doing anything at all, this piece of paper Ainsama had in his hand a few times is a list of instructions he received from Demiurgus. They were nothing major, just bullet points for his beloved ruler, which he thought would suffice for a man of his intelligence. Ainsama, though, barely made heads or tails of it, and improvised most of the time instead, just like he always does. On the topic of receiving stuff from others, there is Nea's getup. It started with a bow, which the Sorcerer King gave her on a whim to promote his local business, and continued with a more immediately relevant item, the Star Pendant. Its enchantment increases the wearer's resistance to fear. Then she took possession of Buser's armor called Turtle Shell. As any magic item, it adjusted itself to the Esquire size and protected her from various ranged attacks, both physical and magical, which seems to be its shtick.